West Virginia basketball just hired the opposite of Darian Devries for its new head coach. But is that a good thing? This is an emergency Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. West Virginia has its new man. The North Texas head coach, Ross Hodge, per Matt Norlander, will be the new head coach in Morgantown. Is that a good thing? If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. I told you Darian Devries was a coward. The way that he did things, not meeting with his team, still hanging around in Kansas City per some reports, and not going back to Morgantown, and then just kind of up and leaving, the way his son handled it, being on Selection Sunday with Javon Small, and Javon is over there sweating the announcement of whether or not West Virginia will make it. Darian Devries is wondering how soon he can sell his house. That is bad. You need a guy who's not that. Here's why I can tell you. Here's why I can confidently tell you that Hodge is not that. He has already announced, per sources, that he is going to stay with North Texas for the duration of their NIT run. They're not in March Madness. They don't have a national championship to play for. But Ross Hodge still wants to stick with his team. And why? Because of that L word, loyalty. Darian DeVries was not loyal. He comes in for 1 year, he boosts his career, and he leaves. Ross Hodge is staying with North Texas to go to Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis and play in the NIT's version of the Final Four. That's the guy you want. He's going to put the transfer portal on hold. And look, if you're a West Virginia fan, you're probably going, shoot, I want him boots on the ground right now with the transfer portal in hand, bringing in new guys. Of course. But you know what North Texas wants? What their players want? What their fans want? They want Hodge there with his team. And that's exactly what he's doing. And that's what I think you're getting from a personality standpoint, from a culture standpoint, by hiring Ross Hodge. Darian DeVries was not that. Fly by night, come in for a year, boost his resume, boost his career. And what did he do? He left. Hodge is not going to do that. He has been at North Texas for a very long time. Also an assistant under Grant McCasland, who's now at Texas Tech, has them in the Sweet 16, one of the best defenses in the country. And that's exactly what Hodge does, is coaches defense. And he doesn't have to lean on the transfer portal either. There are a lot of good reasons to like Ross Hodge. I'll also give you some bad ones and some reasons to be a little skeptical. But to start with the good, to start positive, because West Virginia fans need a lot of that right now, the reasons to like him start with loyalty. Then they move from there and go to the tree he comes from with Grant McCasland in North Texas. That defense is elite. Then he doesn't have to have the transfer portal or NIL. He has won at North Texas without those things. Transfer portal, sure, but NIL was just not a thing for North Texas, yet still Hodge won during his 2 years as the head coach, taking over from McCasland. Yeah, we can't pay you anything. Can you come in and win in a pretty darn good conference? And speaking of winning, that's what the dude does. Paris Junior College. This is a like pick himself up from his bootstraps kind of guy. This is the blue-collar guy you want representing West Virginia. Why? Paris Junior College. You ever been to Paris, Texas? Midland College. You ever been to Midland, Odessa, Texas? If he can survive in those places for a few years, he's going to do real well. Morgantown is going to be a paradise, a haven for this guy. Let me read you some of his records. 26-4 in year one at Paris JC. 30-7, 25-6 at Midland College, 30-3 in year number one, 31-4 in year number two. And then what does he do? He leaves there to take an assistant coaching job. He was the NJCAA Runner-Up that year at Midland. He takes an assistant coaching job at Southern Miss. The dude didn't get a silver spoon handed to him. He had to go to Midland JC and then be an assistant at Southern Miss, then an assistant for 5 years at Colorado State, then an associate head coach at Arkansas State, and an assistant at North Texas. And then as a head coach, taking over from McCaslin, taking over for a guy who became a legend there, beating Matt Painter and Purdue in the NCAA tournament. He goes 19-15 in year one, and then 27-8 this last year, 14-4 in the AAC. Just miss it. Second in the conference, just missing out on an NCAA tournament bid, possibly an at-large, and taking his school to the NIT, where they're in the Final Four. That's a guy that wins. Here's the downside. Here's where there should be some question marks. Here's where you'll have to say, okay, let's give him some time before we completely buy into this being a winning move. John Fanta tweets, West Virginia is hiring North Texas head coach Ross Hodge. Sources confirmed to Fox Sports. The 44-year-old has gone 46-23 in his 2 years at the helm of the Mean Green, owns 22 years of coaching experience. Those are good. Here it is. Close relationship with West Virginia athletic director Ren Baker led to this getting done. I don't think, here's where it's just me and you, I don't think Hodge was number one. The hire was made fairly late. We know that no one in the Sweet 16 right now, they're all power conference schools. No one in the Sweet 16 right now was going to lose their head coach to West Virginia. So time has been ticking, right? Phone calls have been made. There have been enough days here to get your number one guy if you could. I do not believe personally that's what West Virginia has here. They had to go to option 2, option 3, a guy that needs to prove himself. But look at the coach at Louisville coming from Charleston. He had to prove himself. They didn't think that guy was going to be able to go there and win, and he did. Took a program that couldn't do it, and he did it immediately. A guy who the fan base of Louisville didn't want him. He wasn't the first selection. And here, West Virginia, I think you do want him. He's got loyalty. And even though he's not the first selection, maybe he's the best one. Glitz and glam might not be there. Maybe he's the best one. And then there's the other part of him being close friends with Ren Baker. Baker made a very controversial, tough decision to bring back Rich Rodriguez based on the way he left. I think it could work out. But what Baker's done with hiring Rich Rodriguez, then hiring his friend, Ross Hodge, is put his own job on the line. I don't hate Ren Baker. I think Ren Baker's done some great things and some things that I've questioned. For now, you can start judging Ren Baker, his hiring processes, how he handles the athletic department based on these two hires. If they both are wrong, it's his job on the line. No doubt. That's what you're supposed to do as an athletic director, is put your programs in a position to win. If you don't, that's your job.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Look, I'm 24 years old. I don't really know the whole money thing. So what do? I go to Monarch Money, which is my own personal CFO, and they give me full visibility and control over my finances. So when I'm wondering, where did my money go? I now have a budgeting app that shows me complete financial control center, investments, spending, accounts, all in one place. You can start managing and building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much spending I was doing on food delivery. Now I'm much smarter. I can budget and save. Instead of juggling multiple apps, use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can share personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year with Monarch Money. I'm rooting for West Virginia. I'm an advocate. I'm rooting for West Virginia. I want Hodge to work out. I think he will. I think he can at a very tough conference. He's won everywhere he's gone. That's the guy that I want at the helm of my program. See if it works. Hopefully, I'm excited. I hope it works. I'm excited for his press conference, dude. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.